Hello.
Hello. Sorry,
Can you?
I was deep in
Hi.
meditation. Hello.
Hello.
That was incredible. I was just like setting myself up, and you appeared to me, and all I saw was like this bright blue angel, like this blue ray angel. And you just had like your head like was really close to mine, and I was saying, sometimes I doubt that I'm psychic, and you were like this, you're like, is this not psychic enough for you? Is this not real enough for you?
That's
So thank
amazing.
you for that. And then you said
That's
hello on Zoom, and I was like, whoa, I just like totally it's like my head just exploded.
so cool. That's amazing that I've actually done like a Zoom event where we are focused more on like, what the nuances are for you to get you out there and connected. So if you just want to tell me a little bit about your experience thus far and where you feel like you struggled, that'll be a good start.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll try and keep it to the point. So yeah, so I started since my awakening in 2017. About 3 years ago, I started doing um, like my own energy healing work for people. Um, yeah, so for the last 3 years, I've been doing a range of like energy work for people, usually a couple of clients a week, mostly online. Some I've started to do more face to face recently, and it's a whole breadth of work. So it started as like negative entity removal and soul retrievals and exorcisms and going to people, like going into the depths of hell and fighting demons and retrieving parts of people that were um, uh, lost, and doing the reintegration and the healing. And then it still includes some of that today, but now it's expanded out to a whole range of things. So past life healing, so just traveling through space and time to where someone has trauma, healing them in that moment, and then bringing them back with that healing into this lifetime. Gift activation, doing chakra scanning. So when I close my eyes and I'm in a session with someone, I can scan through their chakras, remove anything that's blocked, help them with activations, with healing. And I work mainly with Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael, and more this summer, since the summer, Archangel Haniel. And my my business, for I'd say for most of that time, has just been focused on doing a couple of sessions booked through my website, where everything's kind of set up largely automatically. People can just book me. It's been through a mix of things, like going on people's live streams. Some people will know me through my music, and some of it's just like I have a small community of probably about 30 people that are on the web, on my website, like a membership group, who sometimes interact. For a while, we did do like loads of one-to-ones, so loads of group sessions, um, which would do every week. But I quickly realized about a year ago that I just attracted loads of energy vampires because my boundaries were really poor. They were like,
I
"Hey,
remember that actually.
yeah,
I saw a video of you. That's when I first found you, and you were talking about doing free group sessions, and I was like, no, like
yeah,
because it is like that. And see, I try not to get offended when people ask for things from me for free,
yeah,
but it's like the statement that you're making without saying is that I'm not worth my son. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like that's the way I see it. And so many people just expect something for free. And it is hard to hold those boundaries,
yeah,
but and I even struggle now. Like I've raised my prices, but I will still give. And I think generosity is definitely important,
mhm,
but within reason, right? So I will be generous to those who have already poured into me, right?
yeah,
Finances is just one energy, right?
yeah. That's right.
It's there's a lot of ways to pour into people, the liking, the stream, and all these different things as far as TikTok goes.
Yeah,
So I'm really proud of you for I don't know how far you've come on that
Yeah,
journey,
pretty far.
but
Yeah,
I hope good.
I managed to. I guess I would like. I guess I fired like my first client a couple of weeks ago. They were just like we did an intro call which they paid for, and because everything I do now is paid for, whatever it is, and I just stopped them there. It's like, it's okay, you don't need to believe in me. I'm not asking you to believe in me. I'm here to help you, but by the sounds of it, you're not really interested in working with me, and I'm fine with that. Like, we don't need to work together.
Right.
And I just stopped. um so yeah, good. All the best to them. They'll find someone else that, or someone in time to work with. um
I had someone do that to me just to relate with you.
mhm.
And it is hard, but I've gotten to a point where I will not tolerate like that kind of energy. Mm-mm.
No,
I was
thank
like,
you.
here's your refund, block you. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
we're
okay.
done.
So
Yeah,
I definitely understand the struggle with trying to like find clients that are compatible with your energy.
yeah,
It's difficult.
yeah, definitely. Um, and forward wind to where I am now. I I work 3 days a week. I'd been in the software industry for 26 years. And
Sulfur?
sorry, in software,
You said sulfur?
software, yeah,
Software.
computers, yeah.
Oh,
And that feels really good. Like that, for me, that feels completely aligned. I feel, when I think about it, I feel really free and I feel excited, and I don't quite understand the hows yet, but I do feel I'm being. So my guides are saying to me at the moment, they keep showing me like this ship preparing for sailing on a voyage, and they're saying, John, remember, you're preparing the ship. There's still a storm outside. Like, you're preparing. And so everything I'm doing right now is, I feel like a lot of it's the inner work I'm doing to not repeat the same patterns. So my patterns, the kind of gaps I have to achieving the dream life I have, is the patterns that I want to get out of are, but yeah, like some of my patterns have been things like, of lack. Like, you'll see me, like, my pattern of lack is just being busier, doing more, being more in the divine masculine, and pushing more content out. Like, if you ever see me doing tons of content, it's probably in some of those moments, unless I'm just having like the most amazing time. um and so that's one pattern, like not working super hard, which has served me so well in the software industry, but it's pretty bad for, like, it's really bad for this line of energy work. And I did have a really bad summer when I had to, like, I had this huge tower moment, thankfully, in like really in isolation. But it was, that taught me that, I will not just burn myself out, I will burn my soul. Like, literally, I will burn my
yeah.
soul because a lot of the work I do is so dangerous. It's like, this isn't a game. It is absolutely deadly serious. And so I thought, wow, I need to find that right balance. And I've come a long way since then. Um, and now a lot of the kind of, I'm much closer now to the underlying causes of that feeling of lack. A lot of it to do with self-love, and just breaking down some of those mental models. Like, why couldn't I earn that income? It's not like I'm not asking
Right.
for the universe. Like, so some of it's like a bit of a bridge of that, and making sure that I replicate that in my work, because I know that every post I do, every advert, every session I do, it's me, and it's my vibration. And so everything that, all my areas for growth also come out in that same work. So my business model at the moment, and I've had a couple of coaches helping me, well, three. And where I've got to at the moment is, I've been exploring doing like two primary funnels. One is, um, simpler, which is long-term mentorship for about 3 to 6 months. Um, and I've got, these are people that have awakened. They've maybe started some form of business, like maybe, well, I have two, and I might have just picked up a third just before our chat just now. And two of them are,
Yay.
which is amazing. Two of them are like tarot readers, but amongst other things. And they're just on on their journeys where they're ready to like activate more gifts. They're wanting to really step into their power and level up their game. They want to do more in their business, and they want to have someone that can support them like day in, day out for a concentrated period. And I feel like it's not longer than 6 months. I think there is like a time frame I'm looking for. Like my ideal clients are hungry, right? They're searching
Right.
for their truth. They're searching for their inner work. They're trying to find their shadows. They're like, here's the next thing I want to tackle. And I just need someone to help me with the support and the guidance and to help bring me back to those same challenges and help me through them so that I'm not all by myself. Um,
Right.
and so I find that like just super exciting. But I know that that's a long game, unless sometimes I pick them up like I did just now, where people need to know you for quite a while. Like, why would you invest even the money separately? The time I'd be asking, them like an hour or two a week at least,
Hmm.
just for sessions, and then the work, and all the homework. Do your daily
Right.
meditations, tell me about your shadows, do those exercises I'm telling you. So I feel like that's definitely a journey to get people to that point. Um, and I was thinking that I had to get people that I was thinking until recently that I hadn't started that journey with people, but that's not true. Um, I really started that journey with people as they started to get to know this kind of spiritual side of me, not just the musician.
Hmm.
And so that's the case for my first mentee. It's a nurturing process. So I need to get them. And finally, yeah, the third person earlier saying they've seen me in my growth journey. They watch my videos most days. They're saying I've known you, Jon, since like 2018, and I sometimes comment on your YouTube videos. You might remember me, and it's like, oh yeah, of course I remember you. And they said, I just want to follow. Like your path is fantastic. The inner work you do, I want to do that. And so I can see that there's different ways of connecting with these people, and probably is like it's at least several months or sometimes years to get them to the point where they're comfortable to have a longer term partnership, if lack of a better word. um and then the other funnel I'm looking at is the newly awakened. So this is higher volume with lower, I say lower cost. It's almost like I need to attract a large funnel of these guys. So I ran a workshop and got about 50 people to come along to the first one. And then I've got 30 for the one I did last night. And they're much bigger than, maybe I'd get 5 or something if I just didn't advertise or put any efforts or intention into it. Um, and when I did the first one, I did get like about 3 bookings from it, which was great. And really, really beautiful souls to work with, like absolutely the perfect clients. Like their testimonies were just phenomenal. Their self work is fantastic, and it feels like they would probably go on and become mentees at some point if that's what they chose. Um, some of those challenges, and I think you'd seen this already, like who wants to attend a free workshop? um,
Right.
it's like, oh, it's free. Hang on, I've just awakened, so I find it quite hard working with the newly awakened, because I feel like although I still work in like a 3 days a week in an office and a big corporate, and they all expect me to behave like a senior manager, I guess I'm in those moments most of the time, um, kind of pre-awakened. I talk as a empathetic, sympathetic leader and manager, but not, I don't stop for a moment and rub my crystals and chat my spirit guides. Well, I do, but
Right.
not verbally. Um,
Right.
and so I think that's been very interesting journey, is like finding out what 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 awakens people. Um, my journey was like truther and conspiracy, and then into spirituality, and then waking up in a 1 hour meditation session, Kundalini yoga session in 2017. But I see there's so many paths, and I feel like everyone's going through it much faster now. And I have met some clients that are through these workshops. I've met more people that have just a few months in, and they're just like, what the fuck? They're like, what? Like, tell me, John, what's going on with the planet? Like, why am I feeling like this? And I love that. As clients, they're definitely need to practice a lot more like boundaries and sovereignty, and like there's I seem to I it's easy to attract these kind of energy vampires, people that are in victim mentality and just don't want to do the work. They want someone to turn up and go, there's the magic key. And I'm not like, I haven't been investing in things like adverts. So, promoting, Google ads or Instagram or YouTube or TikTok ads, like nothing like that. Just all I've been doing is promoting myself. And then what I was doing last year loads was live streams to other people, like going on for an hour or two and doing live sessions, which I found really intense. And I'm not sure I would do quite the same. I was doing like I was doing entity removals, every 10 minutes, and I was like, I'm not sure I should be doing that. Like that's pretty dangerous to do, and very intensely. But I do see it as a great way to network, and there's probably some middle grounds there. Finally, so if I think about the kind of entry points to my funnel, and if you're on a laptop, and if you went to my website, there's a little diagram called the if you go in from the main, actually it's on the homepage of my website, jonbinnie.com. There's a little link, like the second button that says your tree of awakening. So it tries to describe all the different services, and to meet people where they're at, it starts at mindfulness training, which I just mindfulness meditation and teaching, which I just qualified as, really to help me connect with people that are just getting into meditation. And then I go into things like spirit guide meditations, so that you can try these yourself and just work your way up to then, okay, you're ready to do like either a small mini remote healing or book a session with me. And then the sessions themselves, like they start with like decoding your awakening path. There's a hidden witch wounds session, which goes through past life healing. There's quantum healing, and then it steps up into either like mediumship or into entity removal, and then onto the longer term spiritual mentorship. And the idea is, as you work your way up through each one, you get like a discount into the next. So it'd be, okay, so you made it into the first one, and they're at the moment they're big. It's like a 50% discount. But yeah, that's the current thinking. I probably could have said all this really fast, but it took me a while.
I've enjoyed listening to all of it. I've been taking little notes of just things I would like to know and ideas that were coming to mind.
Yeah.
Series on TikTok, teaching other people what you like. I know you do mentorship, but there may be because I know that there are some people that are just, you're wanting to freshly awaken. A lot of times when people are freshly awakened, they're scared shitless, and there's so much we don't know, right? You just know, like, you're seeing different, you're feeling different, and everything that you get, like everything you see in the world, you're realizing is a lie. Like it's like everything is kind of just smacking you in the face, and you're like, and it's undeniable, right? So sometimes I think people just need, so you could do like, beginners awakening series. You could do the mindful, all the little things on your tree. You could do a series on TikTok, and that becomes, after your initial videos, that would become passive income for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's a great idea. Because I did,
and then
I did feel there's a big gap right now where I even know what the training course is called. It's called like your foundational awakening or foundations to your awakening training course. Like I feel that is just missing in those steps, because my steps at the moment are just like, meditate. All right, now like talk to your spirit guides, and like, oh, and that's how it was for me. It was really fast, but I know that that's not the case for many, and they want, like, I just trying to absorb what you're saying, which is you enter this chaos state when you first awaken, right? And so what is really helpful is someone coming in with at least some kind of structure that you're familiar, because you're familiar with that from the 3D world. You're like, there's a program and it has like a start and an end and it has things you do, not just this infinite swirly magical woo-woo journey that I often feel like I'm on. So yeah, I think that could definitely help. And I've not really looked at TikTok series. I don't know if do you need like a certain number of followers
I
for
think so. How many followers do you have?
that? 2,000 something.
Okay, I think it might be 5,000 or 10,000,
Okay.
so 2,000. Um, we can work on that. Also, another idea that came to mind, of course, it was creating courses, right? Not
Mm.
just the series, but do you know what Udemy is? Do you
No.
know? Okay, so Udemy is an app where you can take tons of courses on there and they're
Mm.
always on sale. Like you can get like I'm taking multiple courses right now, one in light language, and they're like fully accredited, one is internationally accredited. Like these classes are no joke, they're pretty awesome and they go
Mm.
on sale all the time. And so you could create some courses on there as well, like for
Brilliant.
beginning meditation or
Yeah.
past life regression, like all these things that you know how to do, reflexology,
Mm.
like you could create a specific course for each one of them and people will come to know you, and then that would be another funnel,
Yeah.
right, through those classes. So
Brilliant.
and then on top of that, it also becomes passive income,
Yeah.
right? Once the courses are up, they're up. And you know, because
Yeah.
I think I don't know how to do, I know I've done some entity removal, but it hasn't been like, I didn't go into the healing with the intention that that's what I was doing. It was
Yeah.
like I saw it and then I was like, oh my gosh, like we got to get rid of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And usually I call Michael in because I'm not comfortable enough to, I don't want, because I've had my own experiences that has scared me. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to deal with this. And then the soul retreat, like some of the things you offer, I feel like I would greatly benefit from. Like seriously, the soul retrieval, past life regression, these types of things. I think I would really benefit from that. But so Udemy, the series, Patreon, do you know about Patreon?
Yeah. Yeah. I did set it up a few years ago, and I've not really followed up on it. It's interesting because terrible. I have a membership group, but I kind of stopped. I just kept it going, and I was thinking, is there a way? Like, I don't want. I got rid of all the energy vampires. Like that was one thing, in a very nice way. But I feel like there is an opportunity with Patreon. Like I could, people understand it, right? Like they trust the brand, the platform. You can work with it
Mm-hmm.
more freely across like YouTube um, and although my website does loads of the things that you need, it is something I'll be open to.
Okay, these are things that came to mind. Vistaprint was another one. I don't know if you have business cards. I would imagine that you probably do. I don't know.
No, I don't.
Business cards was another idea that came to mind.
Yeah,
Um, and that way when you're out and about, or you go to a crystal shop, or you go to a woo-woo, you know, whatever, or you
yeah,
go to some kind of yoga or anything like that, you could, you know, it takes getting out there and being not being shy and stuff and
yeah.
like really networking with the leaders,
Uh,
right? See yourself as a leader. You are a leader, and you're only going to continue to grow and become more and more powerful, more and more on fire for what you do. So, making those connections now with whatever, you know, meet people that inspire you,
yeah,
right? You want to, that are where you want to be, doing
yeah.
what you want to do, and then make those connections. Like we're connecting now. I don't feel like I'm up there yet. I still got a lot of growth,
Oh, you're
right? I think
fantastic.
on a lot. Do you do live streams
Yeah,
on TikTok?
I, yeah, I've done it. I've done a bit. What I haven't done is structured it. And what I'm so as in like advertise that I'm doing it or have some like repeatable pattern that people would notice, even though I'm in an awkward time zone. I'm really lucky because I'm in this like soundproof studio and I don't sleep a lot. So it's like actually I could do things, I could create a pattern or two that helped me, have a global reach. Um, and I was the two sessions that I did, these two workshops, they were both like live Zoom calls, and then I created like little training, like kind of little training workshops off the back of them with the same content. Um, I found that they were just they weren't really worth the energy of advertising that was greater than the content and the course itself. And it made me think, like one of my coaches does, she does like a weekly, like Wednesday afternoon UK time, kind of, it's almost like a clinic. And she always has a subject and talks for a bit, and then she brings in her clients, or you can sign up for something like just one-off fee of £10, and you can turn up to one of them and ask her stuff, which I thought was a really interesting approach, because it allows you to, like, I think having a small amount of money is like an energetic barrier to stop even like bots and scripts trying to like sign themselves up for your
Right.
stuff, right? And what I really liked about her work is that she just reuses that. She then reposts it everywhere. She has it as a podcast, and it's a time that she's just in her element. And I've gone in. I keep going into these things cold and burning myself, right? So I'll just turn up unannounced by myself, like on TikTok or something, and like, oh, there's no one here, and then get really annoyed myself and disappear. And it's like, and I'm realizing, no, that I'm gonna seek a pattern starting January, like either something like a Sunday night or a Sunday and a Wednesday, and just do like a 1 hour session and do a little bit of prep work, like have a theme, have a reason for being there, and so that I'm attracting people for those themes. And yeah, like you say, it could be, trying to connect some of these things together. It could be like, okay, let's talk about light language. We might just talk about it as humans for a while, and then I'm going to channel some, and then see if someone's like willing to try it themselves. Like these sorts of things that are in a small but safe container for people. I'd find really rewarding, and I feel like a great way of connecting with people.
Are we talking about a Zoom conference type deal, or like TikTok?
I don't know yet. Maybe, and it could be a blend, because I could stream on multiple platforms at the same time. I guess there's just different advantages, isn't there? I do see, like, the biggest difference I see on TikTok, like where I see you, is that it, like, even the hashtags speak for themselves. Like there's just a huge magnitude of more awakened people on TikTok than there are, or at least as the social media platforms would have you believe, on Instagram. And I'm not really active on Facebook. And whereas many people my age are, like, everyone's there. Yeah, I feel like I was really interested in your thoughts on what sort of things I could explore on TikTok.
Okay. So my experience with TikTok, and one thing that I've really struggled with is that algorithm. But I've gotten to a place where I don't care. Where you're going to get the most benefit is on live streams, right? Going live. And when it comes to the algorithm, you do have to create a consistent schedule, right? And because what's going to happen is you're going to get followers from the time you go live. And if you're going live at 9 a.m. and then you're going live at 10 a.m. and then 12 p.m. and all, you're going to get followers from all these different spots. And so the times that all your followers are going to be live is going to be really spread out.
Yeah.
So you want to kind of, you can pick multiple times a day, but you want to try to make sure you can honor that commitment. That's number one, because people will expect you, they'll look for you. And then when you don't show up, they're going to kind of like, so that's one thing. What I've done for me, and I don't do anything else.
Fantastic.
Right. I just jump on and do what I do. And I know that might not be a lot to some people, but for me, that's a living. I would live off of that. Right. And so, and I feel like and I could probably make more, but I'm unwilling to. That's like going live at 9, 10 p.m. and staying live to about 1 or 2 a.m. Right.
Yeah.
Like sometimes 3 a.m. But so about 5, 6 hours of work and I'm done,
Yeah.
right? And it's at the evening, so I'm not missing time with him. And but for you on TikTok, I don't know, like, because you are so rare and you're magnetic, so it's like your authenticity is up there, right? So
Mm.
it's I think that it people may find it hard to relate with you because you are so genuine and pure in your energy. It's almost, and don't take this the wrong way, but I think for some could
It's
be
jarring.
off-putting
Yeah, it
because
is.
they're like
Where's
they
yeah, where's the arrogance? Where's the things I'm used to? Like
yeah.
yeah, and
And so
I
it's
get
not
that.
relatable. That's what I would say. It's not
Yeah.
relatable to them because I'm not sure how they would perceive you. I perceive because I'm on this journey, and so my light sees your light, and like your light is goals for me. Like,
Oh.
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's goals. I want to
Thank
get
you.
there to this place of like, and I know you probably don't have a perfect life, but I know that you found peace,
Yeah.
right? And I can see that and feel that within you. And even when it does get hard, you still retain that, like, this deep spiritual place within you that you can go to and you can retreat to, and it keeps you
Yeah.
right. And so, but other people who are just new to the spiritual awakening journey, there's no telling what they're thinking because they still got all this, and so I think maybe possibly finding a way to make it more relatable,
Mhm.
right? Just like with the child, I have to get down on his level,
Yeah.
right? So think about ways that you can kind of get down on, like, it's just imagine that it's your younger you when
Yeah.
you first awakened, and try to connect with him
Yeah.
through the screen,
Yeah.
right? What does he need to hear? What did he need to hear? What did he need? I think that would be really helpful. And I don't watch enough. I've watched a bunch, but I don't think I've watched enough to really know if you've done that or you haven't done that. I would
Yeah,
imagine you probably have.
not really. It's funny. I have like my songs and my and I think it took me about a year in my daily meditations have they are the daily diary going back to when I awakened. And the the really funny thing is that I went through this. The first phase I went through was, I describe it as like being really positive and upbeat about things. Like I was like super love and light. I was like Jon Binnie, love and light guy. Like I'm like everything, like don't be down, be happy. And it was really funny. Like yeah, some of those I it was me breaking out of like the matrix, right? I was like realizing that there was choices to make. And yeah, I have in a few meditations, like I feel this is probably a practice I can try as well, as like keep going, bringing that guy back. And maybe what I should do is just before a session is almost like repossess that part of me, like before I go live, bring the old John in. Maybe
Mhm.
lose the Jon Binnie merch, and like go back to, like, I still have like some of the same t-shirts, and like bring that back, that John back. And then, but it's all, I feel like, as you're describing it, I see myself talking to others in a kind of now plus one. It's like wherever you're at right now, plus one. Like you want to be like, you're aware that there's a matrix. Fantastic, right? What really is that? Where's the next step for you? What's your plus one that you want to go to? And helping people and talking in a way, because I know that I punish myself constantly for staying in a corporate, and I know this is one of the big reasons why. It's like, because they'll know me like totally. All the people that work with me know the full spectrum of me, but for those that are new to me, often they're like, "Oh, are you that guy that writes those songs all the time?" And I do feel it's like those little hooks that I could help people with. Is like, what is the thing that they're looking for? Why did they stop by on
Mhm.
my live stream for 2 minutes? To why did they stick with me for a few minutes? And what can I help them with next?
There's a peculiar light about you, right? You are rare, much different, and you seem comfortable. It's almost as if you have gotten over the hard part that
Yeah,
we all go through,
yeah,
right? Like the shadow work, the demons, the struggle. And it doesn't mean that you aren't having days, right? We
yeah,
know that you're still human. So we know they're there,
yeah,
but what are you doing about it? So I think for me, what I'm curious about is that, like, Um, what are the things? Is it mindfulness meditation alone, or what are the other practices that you've done? I'm sure giving back to others is a part of that, because for me, that is definitely a part of my healing, is actually helping others.
Yeah.
So that may be one part of it, right? Is
Yeah.
uh,
It is. It's
you know,
I guess the biggest thing is the shadow work, right? Like not many people really want to
mhm.
talk about it. And when I first started out, I thought it was all. I kept getting drawn, like the darkness and many very dark entities would keep trying to draw me into duality, because
Oh
that's
yeah.
what they do, right? That's their job. And I'm like, no, like I love you just like I love myself, like, and that's why we're rebalancing this together. And I go through I go through my challenges. I go through like my kids call me the Grinch for Christmas. I get grumpy about the trees getting dug up, and I'm like, I think we got a real Christmas tree, and I'm like, why did I have to die? And I'm literally talking to this tree, and it's like, but I like being here. Our last tree last year survived to the end of January on our doorstep outside, and it was just like, and whenever I spoke to it was like, it's because of the vibes in the house, John. Like, that's why I'm so happy. And I'm like, okay, but it's like I get triggered by that. It's like, we killed a tree.
Oh.
um it's really funny. But yeah, I feel like there's still those. I definitely go through those moments each day. And work stress and people just frankly fucking you around, or trying to someone jealous of you, or trying to get you fired, or whatever it is they're trying to do. Like, there's just there's a lot. And yeah, to answer that question, like, what really helped me was going back to always finding each day, waking up and going back to myself, finding myself each morning, even just for 5 minutes. And meditation's a huge part of that. And then I feel like the shadow work, what is the next thing? Why was I shown that lesson? Why do I even go to that job? Why do I care that that tree died? Like, what are the lessons that keep coming back to me? um and I feel like shadow work would be something I could help people with, that I've maybe just ignored a bit. I've probably ignored that capability. um and between you and I, the experience I went through in the summer is I went through like a self exorcism. Like,
Oh
I would
my gosh.
describe it as my the Spider-Man movie with Venom. It was like that,
Hmm.
where my darkness had completely overtaken me, and on the outside of me
Oh
was
my
just
God.
my light, like a thin layer of light, and that I was just predominantly darkness. And um, a couple of friends like pointed this out to me, very close friends that I'd done a lot of uh, exorcism work with, and they're like, you've got to isolate and go and fix this, and only you can do it yourself. And that I videoed the whole thing, and it was very traumatic, and very dramatic. But when I did it, um, that part of me that I took out, and I was on this Galactic Federation ship when it happened, and my guides they put this darkness of me in this holding cage in the same room as me, and I'm like, do we have to be here together? It's like, you've got to face it. It's not external to you. This is you, John. And I'm like, oh my
Right.
god. And so I had to like go up and face this thing and talk to it and ask, what it, why. And it's your lack. I am your lack. I overtook you. My lack became me. Um, and I know that, like, um,
Right.
but yeah, I think what the question I'm kind of getting to is, I feel like that's way too much for many people. In fact, maybe some people ever. But the shadow work, the early
Oh, I think,
stages.
wait, because I do want to say this.
Yeah.
I know in your mind you might think it is, but so many of us have had, like, I've had some really dark nights,
Mhm.
right? Like things I probably would never repeat to anyone. And to just have that, there's a comfort in
Yeah.
that, and knowing that I'm not so bad,
Hmm.
right? Like there are others like me. It almost brings me to tears because it can feel really isolating
Yeah.
to like go through that,
It
you
is.
know? So I think sharing that part of your journey that was vulnerable for you can be life changing for some, you
Oh,
know.
thank you so much.
Uh
I remember you
Seriously.
did share a lot on a live stream one day, and yeah, what you shared about some of your experiences, yeah, it was so powerful for me to receive. And yeah, I know that some, like, if you just see like the warm, cuddly, happy Jon Binnie, you're like, always smiling, always like, oh, I'm just so happy all the time. It's just incredible. And like, oh yeah. And I was like Venom for like 6 months of this year. And they're like, you what? Yeah, hi, it's
Yeah,
John guy. Was like inside, I was broken. So
yeah.
yeah, I think that's really beautiful. Thank you. Um, I'll definitely do that and not overthink it too much, because it's raw, right? It is raw and it's
Mhm.
painful, and
Makes you relatable.
yeah, and it'll be
It definitely makes me feel like, okay, I see myself in him. We
yeah,
are one, right? It brings in the unity.
yeah,
There's no like my egoic mind would be like, oh, he's goals, he's up here, and then to hear the that you have been through those moments because I've had many because I was not okay.
oh
I just was not okay, and so to hear that it's just like I don't. There's just something settling about it,
yeah,
right? Like okay, and it's sobering
yeah,
too. Like okay, then, and it's like it lets me know that because I do look up to you in certain respects that like this is attainable for me. Like the
yeah.
level
Oh, it
of
absolutely is.
light I see, the level of light I see in you, and the joy I see in you is attainable for me. I can do it,
Yeah,
right? So I think that's a really important ingredient when it comes to really making those relationships with people impactful,
yeah.
like really impactful.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, and thank you for
You're
your
welcome.
kind loving words. I that feeling of aloneness, like I remember I told my wife, and I said I shocked her, said I'm stopping music for a few weeks, and she's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "You love music." It's like I can't put out anything for a few weeks, and I can't do energy healing for about 2 months, I was so alone. And my even my guides, like, were quite a few of them were keeping their distance. They're like, well, we're here, but we're behind a little protection barrier, and one or two would take in turns to still talk. And yeah, that I think that's somewhere I can really meet people, is in that point of, it's the abyss, it's the void, right? You're just like, you're literally a soul floating by yourself, and you are lost. And
Mhm.
no one, like, any star that appears in that void, which I've been to many times in client sessions, the void is an ugly, ugly, horrible place.
So you said the abyss is a horrible,
Yeah,
horrible
that's
place.
right. Yeah, like the void is just it's such a lonely place, and I feel like um, often people, that's what we're, when we're doom scrolling ourselves, when we're on social media, like, we're often in, consciously or not, we're lost. And yeah, I feel like, some great homework for me will be to write down, in part, like the contents of like a training course that would form the subjects, the topics that I want to cover for people that are newly awakened. But they will also be like the keys that then I take to live streams. And I feel like my goal for live streams are to really to connect with people. Have I always feel like my strength is one to one, but I'm happy, presenting to groups, and sometimes very large groups. It's more like I really excel when it's one to one. So perhaps I'm getting like one person on video with me, and and I have to like do that practice of like boundaries, where it's like, inappropriate, done. You're gone. Next, you're like, okay, you're good. Let's see how long you'll last with me. Let's talk. Talk to us about your whatever it is, shadow work this week.
I think that's beautiful. So you're talking about like bringing someone into the box with you
Yeah, that's right.
on
Yeah,
live.
yeah,
I think that's beautiful. Yeah. There was something else that came to mind, and I just lost it thinking about that. Live streams. Oh, You can record your live streams. There's replays. I don't know if you know that or
yeah.
not.
That's
You
right.
can
Yeah.
clip it.
Hmm.
you can clip it down.
Yeah.
So you could, like, what I've started to do is intentionally make like a healing video while I'm live if no one's on my list. If I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna waste this time. Like I'm gonna utilize this time to the utmost. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
use it to make videos and clip it out, and I'll put the timestamp because it'll tell you how long you've been live.
Hmm.
And I do that. So that's also something
That's a great idea.
that
Yeah.
you could do as well. That way, you're kind of doing both, right? People are going to enjoy the healing, but you're also like getting something done that you may want to get done. I don't know
Yeah.
if you want to. Do you post? I haven't seen any healing content on your page. That's another idea that really brings people in that you're trying to find because you
Yeah.
want to heal people. If you post healing content, you're going to find your people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I think I I do at least once a week, sometimes several times a week, but one of my challenges is it gets lost in all. It's like a sea of content. And I think that's something I need to be mindful about as well. Is I'm still posting songs every day, but I push them into stories, so at least they're like kind of at least on TikTok they kind of evaporate. But it's like that compulsion part of me is like I still want to music's kind of second, and it's great fun. But I do need to make that choice, right? You're absolutely right. Like people need to go to my page and go, that's what he is. That's what he does. He does that thing. Not a million different things.
Well, I don't want you to think that you need to change yourself by no means. It's just if when it comes to TikTok, you can have great success. And I know that for a fact because you are extremely gifted in what you have to offer. It's like I didn't know half of these things that you
So
offer. I'm gonna go check out your website, but you know what I mean? Like a lot of that people would really benefit from me, including myself. So if you displayed more of that, I think people would ask,
yeah,
or if you mentioned it more and more in your videos, like, do a soul retrieval energy healing, and then,
yeah,
in alignment with whoever's good that's going to witness it. And then at the end of the video, if you would like a more personal, click the link in my, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, and so there you're getting that every day. You're creating your own ads through your videos,
yeah,
right? And you will get people through that.
yeah, definitely. And I do have probably 100 plus that are public, at least on YouTube. And I maybe posted like last 20
Oh,
or
wow.
30 on yeah, about a third of clients are more than happy for them to be the whole thing to be shared, and sometimes an hour or 2 hours, and yeah, including going to hell and back. Um, so
Oh,
yeah, I feel
wow.
like I could do some like the highlights would be really helpful for people because they can be ultra long, but um, yeah, getting a flavor of what it's like. Yeah, I could definitely do that, and I love the idea doing it live, and if no one turns up, doing them creating content until people do. I feel like one of the practices I'd like to get into as well is I don't know if there's anyone, either yourself or others, that you'd recommend I take a look at. Like I feel like there's that hook moment that I'm when I want to bring someone in. Like so when in TikTok I find it really hard because you just get like suddenly it can get really popular and like loads of people turn up, and I'm like, maybe because I'm just using my phone, maybe I should just like switch over to a laptop and then like see because there's also that like that control center thing you can use on your laptop now. I don't know what you use. Yeah, maybe I should explore
Phone. I've
your
I-
phone.
I've always used a phone,
Yeah.
so I've never used a laptop to go live on TikTok. So
Okay.
I don't know how it works on the laptop, but I have quite a few control settings with the live, but I don't know what's on the
Right.
laptop.
Got you. Yeah, it was about maybe 6 months ago they created a new kind of live system for computers. Um, but yeah, the point is like when people turn up in my um on my live, I often find it hard to know how to engage them. Um, I can
Mhm.
be like just talking and doing a thing, or I'm deep in a meditation. But I what I find I need to practice some of these simple tools. Like how do I get them to be interactive with me? How do I hold their attention and see if
I
they're
just
willing?
always say hi.
Yes, hello.
Especially if I see them, if I see them on a regular basis, I'll say, hey, so and so,
Yeah,
hey, so and so, by saying their screen name, because a lot of creators won't do that.
yeah,
A lot of creators will ignore them,
Mhm.
unless I'm doing like a personal reading, that somebody's donated for. Usually I will focus on that person because
Yeah.
they have, that they've paid for that slot of time.
Mhm.
But every so often I will break and say, hey, so and so, hey, everybody, thank you for being here, or I'll say, let me know what you guys are struggling with, and I'm going to do a group healing. And that would be, when I would take the time, write it
Yeah.
down. Like yesterday, I got at what is it? I did a grief healing at 1 hour and 24 minutes. So I will go to my replay, clip that out. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You can clip out 5 minutes at a time, take it to CapCut, clip it down more,
Yeah.
and then post it to my TikTok. So that's, those are ways that I kind of another thing that I have found that really does help is to get people to engage. Like while I'm live, this will boost your algorithm. I don't know
Mhm.
if you want your algorithm boosted, but I feel like with TikTok, as much as I hate it, honestly,
Yeah.
because I don't care about the likes. I care about helping people, but TikTok will shadow ban you and no one will see you.
Yeah.
And then, and then for me, it's my full-time income. So it's really important that my content gets out there and that there are people in my life and that I
Yeah.
am making money. So
Yeah.
that's the hard part with that. But one thing I found is if you tell people, hey, you start saying, thank you for engaging with my content and doing that. Like I do that probably 4 or 5 times during the live,
Yeah.
and likes also make a big difference.
Mhm.
That makes a big difference for me, honestly. It can
Yeah.
pull me out of a shadow ban in a day or two, and
Yeah.
I'll start getting more and more people in my lives. So that's a big deal. It sucks that it's created like that,
Yeah.
but
That
you
makes a lot of
gotta deal
sense.
with it.
That's right. Yeah, I must admit, I get a bit complacent about the fact that I just feel like I'm shadow banned across all social media platforms, and I'm sure there's a lot of truth to that. But I never really considered that I could just come out of it quickly, because I know it's not like I know they're all healthy accounts.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is really interesting, and I don't. It's totally true. I don't make a big deal out of it. I should just get people to engage, and many people are, supportive, especially bringing
Yeah, if
across,
you tell them.
yeah, especially bringing across people from, um, I have probably have more like active engagement on YouTube and on Instagram, and just like advertising, say I'm going to start doing this on a regular basis. Come along to these times, and just booking it in and getting them to come along. Well, well, thank you so much. I know
No,
we're
you're
just at the
welcome.
hour.
Do you want my number so that you can, if any other questions come up, and we can still, because I don't mind to still talk to you, and because I'm sure more questions will kind of come to mind, and you can ask, and if I don't know, I'll find out, or that way you can still get some of your answers. Do you feel like this helped you?
Yeah, it helped a lot. Thank you. It's a massive help. And I just want to say I have a huge amount of respect for you. Like you are super gifted. And like whenever you like all the things you're telling me, like you do, right? Whenever I come in, you're like, "Hey John," and I'm like, "Oh my God," I just feel that love like immediately. And it's you do a lot of the things you said you're suggesting, you do them multidimensionally, right? And I know you do it intuitively, and it's a great reminder for me to behave like that as well. And it's a you're a tough act to follow when you're in flow, and I feel like there's a lot of learning, and I'm definitely going to watch you more as well, because I feel like I can learn a lot from you. Um,
Appreciate
so yeah,
that.
thank you so much.
All right. I really do hope that this really helped you. I feel like, I don't know, maybe that's my ego, because I feel like, I don't know. This is my first one like this though, so I'm not used to like mentoring someone who is like me.
Yeah.
You're the first like other healer, so I guess I'm worried, like, did I actually like add to your
Yeah, you
life
helped a
and
lot.
like help?
I'm gonna
So
go back through this, and I'm gonna type really fast.
it's recorded.
All yeah, I'll go back through like all the notes, and
Okay.
the some of the biggest things you've done for me are help me see, like you've done all these things once, right? And that's often called on us. Like it's like do it once, now teach it. And like, but I'm not sure I know it. Doesn't matter. Teach it. Um,
Yeah,
and we're constantly in that position. So yeah, thank you so much. Um,
you're welcome.
and yeah, I'll definitely share like what I do. Like I've got 3 weeks off my corporate job. I'll put together like an updated like I'm working out my business plan, so I'll do some updates to that. And I'll definitely share like the patterns that I'm thinking about engaging with things like live streams and training course and stuff. And yeah, thank you so much. It's been a huge help.
I would love, oh, you're welcome. I would love to have you on my live stream as a guest or
Oh, I'd love
as
that.
a co at some point whenever you feel comfortable, just because you do offer some things that I don't currently offer, like
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like I remove entities, but I'm not really comfortable with, if I'm speaking honestly.
yeah,
I feel like they love my type of energy because of the traumas I've been through, and so I try to stay away from it. So that the soul retrieval,
yeah,
past life regression, which sometimes past lives will come up during the healings, but it's usually because of a specific cord they have that's
yeah.
like their soul is still carrying the trauma, right? So
Right.
that'll come up. But I would love to have you on just to like we could do it every so often. That way, people that need, because there are people that come to me that need probably what you could offer that I'm not able to offer yet. I'm sure I could in the future and just I don't yet, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Yeah,
so
I would absolutely love that. I'd love that so much.
okay, I will send you my number now so I don't forget because I'm, ADHD. So I'll send that to you and then definitely feel free. Like, don't feel like you're bothering me. If I don't answer immediately, it's you were doing something,
Yeah,
but I'll eventually get back to you. Okay.
fantastic. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Much love, John.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
I think
much.
love. Thank
Bye.
you. See you. Bye.